going to run you through exactly how I wish I started my fitness journey. And so for me, I was very, very skinny. And so what happened was I spent a lot of time figuring out how to actually bulk up. And this is what I'm going to share in this video, like all the mistakes that I've made and how I wish I actually started. And so the big question is like, why should you listen to me? Well, this is what I used to look like before, and now I've put on over like 15 kilos of muscle, and I actually feel good about how I look. And so just like a little disclaimer as well, I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't want to be a bodybuilder. I'm not trying to get that big, but you know, I have put on a lot of size and muscle, and I feel like I've learned so much, and I want to share this with you so that you don't make the same mistakes I did, and so that you can progress so much faster than me. And so in this quick video, what I'm going to do is run you through, I guess, the three main things that I think I've made a mistake on so that you don't. And so this is going to cover the foundations of calisthenics. It's going to be hybrid training, and then it's going to cover nutrition as well. All right, let's start off with building a foundation with calisthenics. And so what I wish I started with was, because what I did was like, I went to the gym, I tried to do weights, like all the, you know, the lat pull down, the bench press, all that kind of stuff before I had any sort of real body awareness and any real strength in my body. And so I went to the gym, I tried all these things and didn't really work out for me because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know if I was doing it right. And so now that I think back, I wish that I just started with calisthenics, like really simple, being able to do push-ups, pull-ups, dips, squats, like all that kind of stuff. Like, because I think that would have set me up and given me a basic level of strength. I would have understood like how it feels to use your chest in a push-up, what it feels like to use your pushing muscles, your pulling muscles. So that really basic stuff, I think, just would have helped me at that very early stage when I knew absolutely nothing. And so that's what I wish I started with, just the basics, learning push-ups, pull-ups, dips, and even working up to pistol squats, because then I think that would have translated very, very well into compound gym-based exercises. And on top of that as well, I want to be a functional athlete, but I also want the aesthetics as well as like just being strong, right? So those are my three things that I'm kind of working towards. And so that's what I aim for. And when you start off with calisthenics, that's what you get as well. Like you build like the functional side of it, you build strength, and you build aesthetics as well. And so that's another reason why I wish I started with just learning the basics of calisthenics at the start of my journey. And so one of the big mistakes I did as well when I was learning the basics was like going straight into learning skills. And so skills like, you know, the muscle up, the front lever, trying to do planche progressions when I had no strength, right? And so I made the mistake of thinking that doing skills actually builds muscle, where it doesn't. Like you need to build muscle and build strength in order to learn skills. And I think it's really easy to kind of think it's the other way around, that when you learn skills, you'll build muscle and build strength, which you can a little bit, but not as much as just focusing on the compound exercises like pull-ups and dips and just trying to progressive overload on those. So that is the first part of, I guess, the first phase, like months 1 to 3 when I first started training. I would just focus completely on calisthenics, and the main goal would be to get up to like 10 pull-ups, 10 dips, at least 5 pistol squats, and then like 25 push-ups. So that would be like my actionable part of this video for you, like your first 1 to 3 months, just focusing on getting to those numbers. Now, after hitting those goals, what I would focus on is a hybrid style of program. So incorporating weighted calisthenics with bodybuilding. And this is specifically for you guys who want to, I guess, get stronger and just put on mass. Like if you're a really skinny guy, this is, I think, probably the best thing to do, and this is what's worked best for me. So which is combining calisthenics, like weighted calisthenics, with bodybuilding techniques as well. And so let me kind of break that down. So what this kind of looks like is mainly focusing on weighted pull-ups and weighted dips, and then adding in other exercises like maybe bench press or an incline press, shoulder press. Basically your calisthenic side is like your weighted pull-ups, weighted dips, and then you add in the basic compound gym movements. And so together, I think that has created like the best sort of stimulus for me. Like, and it progresses you both in being able to be a functional athlete, strength, and aesthetic. So it's pretty OP, bro. Like it's the best thing I've found. And in this stage, like this is months like 3 to 12. So this could take some time. Like you might be in this strength building phase for a while. And so, but that's okay. Like this will help you build like the functional, the aesthetics, the strength, and then Also helps you build into more calisthenic skills down the line, because you're building that strength with the pull-ups and the dips. And so that's what I would do months 3 to 12. And then from there is when you can really start focusing on skills, if that's what you want to do, or you can just keep continuing and just get really strong, get more aesthetic if that's what you're looking for. And so the actionable part for this section would be like, your goal upper body wise would be to get to at least 20 kilos with your weighted pull-ups, weighted dips. I would say at least 8 reps with those. And so I think that's a pretty solid standard. Like always, if you could do more, like you want to keep aiming for more. Like my goal right now is to get to 50 kilos in my weighted pull-ups, because I want to be able to be better at muscle ups, you know, front levers, all that kind of stuff. And so the pull-up strength really carries over into all these calisthenics moves. But yeah, those are the 2 big goals I would have for this intermediate sort of phase. So the last thing I want to talk about, and probably the most important, is around nutrition. And so whatever I've just said, like till now in this video, if you don't focus on nutrition, like if you're not getting the nutrition right, none of this shit matters, bro. Like none of it matters, like, because you're not really going to see any results. So nutrition plus the right training stimulus is when you actually see progress and when you see the results that you're looking for. And so, okay, this is my sort of quick guide on exactly, just simplified nutrition guide, right? So let's break it down. So for you skinny guys, what you need to be doing is a calorie surplus. So you've probably heard this before, but you're like, bro, what does that mean? Like, how do I actually do that? And so what you need to calculate is your BMR. So if you go on like one of these websites and you just plug in like your height, like your activity level, that kind of stuff, it shows you exactly how many calories you're burning on like a day-to-day basis. And so like the goal is to get 10 to 15% more calories than you're burning, so that it's kind of like you're able to put on muscle and like more mass on your body, because you're eating a little bit more than what you need essentially. And so that is the first part of it, which is being in a slight calorie surplus. Like you don't need to overdo it and just get really fat, but like you want to be in a slight calorie surplus, or at least hitting what your BMR is, right? So protein intake, like that's the second part. And so very, very simple. What I would do for protein intake is aim for at least 1.5 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. And so that is like on the lower side of what most people recommend, but honestly that's how much I've aimed for, like always, and that's always worked for me. So like if you can get in more, like even 1.8 grams per kilo of body weight, that's cool as well, but I think the minimum is 1.5. And what I would say, like what you want to aim for is like mainly whole foods. Like you don't want to be eating too much protein shakes, protein bars and all that kind of crap, like, and the soya chunks. Like personally, I don't think that is the best idea, just because it's so processed and I don't really like eating in that way. And so what I would recommend is trying to get most of your protein from whole food sources. Like you can use protein powder, but just remember that's a supplement, like, and it should supplement your diet. Like you shouldn't be getting most of your protein from protein powder. So for me, I'm vegetarian, so I'm just gonna put up on the screen like all the different protein sources that I eat. And like as a vegetarian, like what you want to do is try to mix 2 or more of these for each meal. And so in that way, that's how you can actually hit your protein target. And so for those of you guys who do eat meat, like what you want to do is like, I mean, it's very simple, because you have like an isolated source of protein. So like, you know, chicken, beef, fish, whatever it is, like you can very easily hit your protein goal just trying to prioritize those every meal. But for you vegetarian guys, like try to mix 2 or 3 of the protein sources that we have to hit like your actual protein goal. And the last thing I would say is like, a lot of people stress about like the protein profiles and like the amino acids and all that kind of stuff. Like I would say as long as you're getting in your protein from like varied sources, this is not something you need to be tracking or like be worried about. I've never really tracked this myself and it's been all good, so like I wouldn't worry too much about that. And so that's pretty much it, bro. Like these are like the 3 big things that I would focus on. Like if this is how I wish I started, and I know that if I actually focused on these things right from the start, like it took me like 3-4 years to get to where I am now. I think I could have done it in like 1.5 to 2 years. Like genuinely, like I think I could have cut it down by that much. And so just following these tips that I've told you about in this video now. So just to kind of summarize for you, number 1, start off with calisthenics, basic calisthenics, get strong, get to 10 pull-ups, 10 dips, pistol squats. That's your first phase as a beginner. And then after that, you want to start doing weighted calisthenics mixed with bodybuilding. And so this is when you're really going to start seeing a lot of progress. And then the last thing is dial in the nutrition, get in your protein, and aim for a calorie surplus. I hope this video has helped, bro. And I know that if I follow this shit, I know that I would have cut off like 2 years into my calisthenics journey. Like, I wasted so much time because I didn't know how to progress, how to do all this stuff. But yeah, this is pretty much the end of it. There will be some links down below, like if you want to learn more, if you want to work with me as well. So check those out. If not, that's cool as well, bro. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.